The Illusioner, in my opinion, is one of the most mysterious mobs in Minecraft, due to three major things, being that it's not actually used in the vanilla game and can only be summoned using a special command. And it is by far one of the strongest villagers that I know. In my opinion, being only second to the Ravager and Evoker. So I thought it would be interesting to cover an origin about him, made by the Discord user Disaster from the Origins Discord. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to mention that according to YouTube statistics, only a small percentage of my views are actually subscribed. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing. It's free and it helps out a ton. So moving on to your first ability, you have Flash of Magic. So basically, if you press your primary key, all mobs around you will get blindness for a few seconds. And yeah, that's about it. This won't be a lot of help in single player because if a mob sees you in single player, it will come after you whether or not it has blindness. So yeah. You also have a second active ability called Displacement, where basically if you press your secondary key, all mobs around you will be, well, randomly teleported around you. So this is actually helpful in single player, and it's quite powerful and helpful if you actually if you're surrounded by a bunch of mobs. So yeah, let's move on to the next ability. Moving on to our next ability, you have Bow Mastery. So basically, you deal more damage with the bow. Yeah, that's about it. You also have an ability called Illusion, where basically, if I just get myself a skeleton, you make an illusion that makes it so that any projectile shot towards you will miss. So you basically don't take any damage from projectiles and they'll just bounce off you. And yeah, you also have an ability that makes it so that every time you hit an enemy, you have a random chance, a 30% chance to actually make a sound of a totem of undying. So moving on to next positive abilities, you have an ability called, well, this ability isn't actually mentioned in the GUI. Basically, when you hit, you have a chance to turn invisible. So yeah, it's a pretty high chance, I think. Oh no, it actually happens 100% of the time, so you don't have to worry about that. You also have an ability that makes it so that if you take too much damage within one hit, you will randomly teleport. This does take quite a bit of damage, so I would say just about the size of a Ravager maybe. But yeah, let's see if the Ravager actually does that for me. Wow, Ravagers do way less damage than I expected. Yeah, you have to take quite a bit of damage for this. And without further ado, let's move on to the downsides. Moving on to your first ability, you have Fractured Lifespan. So basically, you have less hearts, as you can see. And yeah, that's about it for this ability. But you also have an ability that that's called, well, Strange Physique. So basically, if I put on armor right here, this armor only provides 75% of the protection it would normally give you. So if I just go into game mode survival and run away, you'll see that I don't have like 3/4 of my armor bar filled. This is because you lose 25% of the protection you normally get from armor. And yeah, let's move on to the next downside. Moving on to your next downside, you have an ability called Unwieldy. Pretty basic, you can't use shields. I'm right clicking, but I can't use it. And you also have an ability that makes it so that iron golems will attack you on sight. So this is pretty self-explanatory, and yeah, let's move on. And yeah guys, that's it for this video. So I think this is a very well thought out origin. It's not too overpowered, but it's not too underpowered, which just makes it balanced is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Disaster did a very good job making this origin. And that's about it for this video. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, See ya.